But this past weekend, we saw Wade Clemens finally lace up the boxing gloves in what could be considered as the people's main event and winning in dominant fashion. But how good did he actually look? From a fighter's perspective, I'm gonna give you the good, the bad, and the ugly. No, not that ugly. But let's break down this fight and talk about some things I really like seeing from Wade and some other things I think he could really work on. So immediately from round one, the game plan was very obvious. He was going to use his jab and he was going to use his straight right hand, and those were primarily going to be his biggest weapons. One thing I did like seeing from Wade is that occasionally he would go with the double left hook, and that is a very underrated combination. I thought Wade's speed and power was a lot better than what I was expecting it to be, and he even shown signs of very slick head movement. And a big combination Wade was doing a lot this fight was slipping to his right to slip the jab and coming over top with a cross. A beautiful combination that worked time and time again. But some things I didn't like that I'm sure Wade will point out when he looks over his fight as well. First and foremost, I think he was headhunting too much. He threw some jabs to the body, and there was a pretty nice, hard, stiff jab to the body that he landed somewhere in the middle of the fight. And the jab to the body and the cross to the head was money all night long. And you know what they say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But I would have liked to see him shoot that cross to the body a few times. It would have helped him set up the cross to the head much more. I just think Wade was a little too predictable in there, and it showed with his opponent. His opponent is very inexperienced, and he lacked the skills to get out of the way of it, but even he was able to pick up on it. A lot of these right hands were definitely big shots, but you could see Masai was kind of rolling with them. And I know people think the big shot is what's going to put someone's lights out and what's going to knock them out, but it's actually the big shot that they don't see coming is what'll put someone's lights out. And Wade was just being a little too predictable. Masai was seeing all these shots coming, which is the main reason why he was able to absorb all these big shots. I did see an opportunity where Wade had the chance to possibly land a big shot that Masai wouldn't have seen coming, and it was this moment right here when he slipped under, got in close. That was a beautiful slip, and it gave Wade a massive opening to change an angle and possibly land a devastating right hand. He created an opportunity that he could have definitely capitalized on, and all pushing Masai really did was waste some energy that he really could have used. And of course, he could definitely tighten up his defense much more. Since this was the first fight, I'm sure they just wanted to keep it simple, just the jabs and the right hands. So I'm really expecting in his next fight to mix it up a little bit more, throw in the hooks more, maybe hooks to the body. Hell, we might even see some in-fight game. Regardless, I definitely expect him to mix it up a lot more in his next bout. And I know what you're all probably saying, yo, why haven't you mentioned his cardio? And I'm gonna be real with y'all, I was actually impressed with Wade's cardio. He had about 2.5 rounds of solid work, and then he started to fade after that. But what made me impressed with his cardio was that 4th round. I know a lot of y'all are gonna think the 4th round was Wade's worst round. He looked terrible in that round. He was clearly fatigued, but I think that last round really showed that Wade's cardio was getting much better because he took some big shots. And when you're that tired and you're still taking big shots like that, and you could take them and be completely unfazed like Wade was, that speaks to your cardio. Trust me, if Wade's cardio was lacking as much as people thought, one of those hooks would have at least wobbled him, probably might have even sat him down. But overall, I was very impressed with Wade's performance. I would consider it the best debut we've seen on Misfits so far. You could tell his fight IQ was just too much for this opponent. At the same time, you gotta give props to Masai because he ate some very big shots, and he could have easily, we've seen it time and time again in this scene, he could have easily taken a knee and quit. But the guy still kept coming, he still kept coming forward, he still kept trying to throw combinations, and he still kept trying to win the fight. So you gotta commend the Masai Warrior for that. But overall, I think it was a really good showing for Wade. On a grading scale, I'd probably give it a B or a B-. Of course, a knockout is always great. It's always what people want to see, and a knockout would have pushed his performance even higher. But like I was saying, he went in there with a game plan, he executed it, and he walked away with a W, which is the most important thing. But that's all I got for y'all today. Feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And as always, I thank you all so much for the support, and I'll catch you in the next video.